Now Ref's guard down with Scram on the low ground. Gonna be looking for crazy shots and they're landing so much in a lot. Scram with the moves, but it's not gonna be possible for him to stay alive. Ref's guard now will try to make as much as possible from this situation. One pillar in the way of him and a big shot from Clown. He actually backs up and our Ref's guard might go down playing the placement. Clown not out yet. From the spot, that shotgun railing, but it's not going to be possible for him to stay alive. Now everyone's lost inside the sauce towards low ground. Meanwhile, up high, Vidil and Reason, they look just so free and fly.
The duo and Reason, we always know that they're going to be good for one game. Yin and Yang, they are so in sync. And here above everyone, it looks like their game to lose.
This is going to be a nice little slow burn towards the end. Rifle and Marion, they have very good trap setting potential. Hit hard when they do find the angles. Reason of the deal though, we know they're game finishers. And a 2v2. And Rifle Marion jumping around. Doesn't matter. Reason of the deal. They close it out. That is the game 8 VR.
Once you open up for a moment and give them an inch, they take a mile. You never want to leave yourself exposed against Vidil and Reason. Absolute legends coming through, and they do a spectacular job to get the victory royale. What a game for these boys.
I feel like that retake is a lot more impressive than the way they just finished out that game. Very default, very slow. I like the fact that they have the temperament to slow down and look for the shots instead of chasing them through. That's what they're historically known for. Just a nice game 8 overall, and now they're really high on those boards.
Yeah, that was real nice from those guys. A real big game in terms of the standings. They did really well early on yesterday, and now finally coming through today as well. Zeke, Boop, Reese, break that down for us.
Don't you worry, 11, that's what we're here for. And my goodness, the only thing cooler than going from 27th to now getting a victory royale, which is going to rocket them up those standings. It's its 11th birthday today. You're welcome, Levin. I got you, bro.
Happy birthday.
My goodness. There you go. There you go. Wow. So coming in from 27th. So this is like what I kind of talked about at the very beginning of the show, right? With the prize winning, the placement. To go from 17th, right? Now we're starting to say, okay, we can start striking at top 10. And with every step, Boop, they can continue to rise up the standings.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many teams going for high ground in this game with Tayson, Thomas HD, Queasy, and Hen. It was a bunch of these big boy players over on high ground trying to crank it out. But, you know, I was talking with Vidil and Reason today on Twitter, and they said we didn't get a single zone. And this time, the first east side zone, I told them, you better win it. And they did. So they delivered on their promise. Thank God.
It's really good. It's interesting is also, it's like this is the first game they've actually played as a duo in my eyes that I've seen, you know. When you look back through a lot of the performances through the qualifiers, through, you know, basically all of them through semis, but through all they've been played in the cash cups and everything, these guys are just kind of play solo and endgame, it seems like. They've not got, I mentioned yesterday, they were kind of the opposite of Cammy and Teak. They don't have like a full tarp they work through. It's just messy. They just hit their shots. They're just chaos left, right, and center. This is one of the only games we've seen them in the finals together as a duo, and they are fragging, and they now have the opportunity to take high ground. So if they stay this way, managing to keep together as a duo, shadow each other, play together, man, this is scary for the rest of the games.
Absolutely insane, man. I mean, once again, I don't know why everyone is deciding high ground, we all want it. But I mean, high profile duos are getting pushed out of high ground, right? Things like Nas and Pink, who we thought, and we have only almost exclusively seen in the high ground, right? And now these other duos are kind of making their way through and saying, look, we're down to fight for the high ground right here, right now. Pablo and Swag as well. My goodness, boys, y'all showing up huge. I mean, again, there's just so many of these, I want to say like small tech that's happening across the games, right, Boop?
Yeah. And you saw that Pablo and Swag, why we showed them taking that card there, because they took Pick and Anas's mobility. And that meant that they were late to rotate, with Texi and Castry catching them off guard in zone, and that caused them to rotate very slowly and late. And you saw them, they got caught out, caught lacking, and that small little issue of Swag and Pablo taking their car ended up in this, down in 29th place. You know, just those small things in spawn fights can just have massive butterfly effects. And it is scary because, you know, all these other guys, they're coming back up towards the leaderboard. And, you know, now you're gone.
Yeah, and also you got to think the other people who are impacted matter Thomas and Tayson, right? Thomas and Tayson coming out with that drop spot, having all of this mess around them, capitalized on that, actually did well on Storm Surge for once, and they were on height. Obviously, they weren't able to capitalize on the Victory Royale aspect of that, but they did manage to have a good game because of it.
That's right. I love it. Reese, let's take a look at the standings together, okay? I want to see how this is all shit. Yeah, it's me and you. Of course, Boop's
Sorry,
here. You
Boop.
know, he's here.
It's fine.
Once again, Grolls and Clown have taken over that spot. So we kind of saw them for like the briefest moment, Reese. We saw one of them go down, and the other was just sitting there. They were out of materials, and they had to make these plays in the low ground. But it's kind of fine, Reese, right? Like, as long as you hit placement, you don't even need eliminations, really. You're just trying to hold on.
Well, you say that, but they have the most eliminations, right? They're
true.
They have the most eliminations so far, and 3 of the games that they've played, they've gone over 7 or more eliminations. So, like, they are fragging out like a low ground team should, right? Historically, in trios, when you see teams on the low ground, they're able to create such a good tarp and capitalize on the players who have low HP, low materials, pick up tons of elimination points because of that. And we've not seen that too much in GOs, but now with Grolls and Clown, they are easily able to do that.
Yeah, and I want to mention Hen and Queasy here real quick. You know, yesterday, Queasy, he said he was very, very unlucky. I even spoke to Jerky, who won FNCS with Queasy last season, and he said, you know, yesterday it reminded me exactly of when we won FNCS. A lot of bad luck, and Queasy today is feeling really confident because if everything went wrong yesterday and they got 5th, now coming into day number 2, and, you know, something goes right for once, you know, they got zone for once, that is so, so scary. And I think we're about to get a Hen and Queasy show today.
It should be in there, my prediction, let's be real. So I'm hoping for it in 10th. We also see their ex-teammate Trulex, who has been consistently in the top 10 throughout the course of a couple of days, move over to that next page. And Lex and X-Squeeze, typically a player who is a day 2 team, doing the complete opposite of that so far. A team who's now actually doing significantly worse in the second day, starting to drop down from, what was it, 6th, now into 11th. So they're starting to go down the leaderboards a little bit.
Yeah, and Cammy and Teague, they're in 12th place as well, as it pains me to see them struggling in this final. Not really sure what's going on with them. Maybe, just you know, just not having as much preparation as they should.
Could even be nerves, right, Boop? Like,
Possibly.
Today is a much, way more difficult, like, in the competition, right? Yesterday, you kind of had this day to be like, okay, well, let's kind of set up for day number 2. But if you're not coming in confident, your duo is going to struggle, right?
Yeah.
And especially with things like Surge, you know, it's like if you're already struggling and you're like, wait, we don't have a Storm Surge plan, it's not gone our way, you're just not going to have a great game. So we just need these players to focus up. Listen, you guys have made it to the finals, okay? You're the very best of the best. Let's just keep our heads down. Let's focus up. We got this, all right? We're going into our next game here in the FNCS. This is Europe, and we've got Shy Wager. We got 11-2K. They're standing by. Let's go say hello to them.
Guys, I'd like to formally let everyone know, after this event, I will no longer be casting because Clown and Grolls have proved that even if you don't have the top experience, if you put in the work, you can do well. So with that being said, I'm going to be looking for a duo. Hit me up if you think you're good enough to play in the FNCS finals. I'm down. I'm ready to grind. Next season we go.
Okay, Lemon, let's do it. I might just join you on that journey, but we'll have to play on like a region in between EU and NA. Maybe, I don't even understand how that would work, but regardless, they still have to put in the work because we still have a few more games to go. That being said, every single one of these 11 is getting kind of crazy. It's either one where the top are thriving or they're out before the game even starts.
Yeah, it's one of these games and days where honestly, you really go into every game with whole new expectations in terms of how will things play out, how do the dynamics between the different POIs work out. We've seen a lot of fights happen that we'd expect to happen in POIs, maybe happening across the map in different areas as well, right? Really, really fun and exciting stuff in the FNCS finals.
Yeah, and Boop brings up that butterfly effect that happened off spawn for just a vehicle, right?